Hello, how's everybody doing? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are doing a washed UFC fighter tier list. You know, people love throwing around the term washed. I don't really like that term, but I compiled some guys who are extremely washed, some guys who are a little bit washed, some guys who are fairly washed. Let's get right into it. So starting out with number 1, Deiveson Figueredo. Of course, S tier is most washed. D tier is not that really. Deiveson Figueredo. We're going to go C tier because when I watch Deiveson Figueredo fight, I'm not thinking, wow, he's so washed. Look, he's not even doing anything. I start to think, why is it that in the first 2 rounds you did nothing, then when you decide to pick up the pace, you start to have success and you look really good? Doesn't make any sense. He is much older, and he, of course, is not what he used to be when he was the flyweight champion, but so we're going to put him like C tier because I think his washed ability is really more so him just lacking aggressiveness for no reason. Next is Kevin Holland. We're going to go B tier. You know, at one time, this guy was supposed to be someone who was supposed to break into the top 5. You know, he won 5 fights in a year. This guy was touted as this crazy, he's super athletic. He's 6'3" at welterweight, and he's so skilled, and he's got good jiu-jitsu. He trains with Travis Lutter, but he's really good on the feet. He's got good power. Oh, he knocked out Jacare from his back, but then he kind of just started to stop caring. So after that, he just regressed kind of significantly. So we're going to say he's B tier now. I just realized there's one guy that oh, never mind. He's on this list. Okay, good. Brian Ortega. Brian Ortega is A tier. I'm not going to say S tier because S tier is reserved for guys that just suck, like a BJ Penn at the end of his career. You know, like a Tony Ferguson at the end of his career. So maybe I should put him into like top of, no, he'll stay in A. Because Brian Ortega, when was the last time Brian Ortega looked good? Because even in his last win against Yair Rodriguez, he didn't look good. He got his ass beat in the first round, really bad. Like it was, I'm very surprised that he didn't get finished. That kind of goes to show how gritty he is and how tough he is. But I mean, he got a takedown in round 2, he got a takedown in round 3, and then just got I believe it was an arm triangle submission. This was in December of 2024, so a very long time ago. But yeah, even in his last one, he didn't even look that good. He looks so much slower on the feet. He has no power at all. His boxing is pretty subpar now. He's not even that good on the ground anymore from what it looks like. So we're going to go A tier. We're going to go A tier. Cody Garbrandt. Cody Garbrandt is A tier for sure. Even in his last win, I don't think he won that fight. I think he lost 2 rounds. Of course, there was some controversy in that fight where there was 2 points that got deducted due to low blows and repeated cheating by Zhao Long. So I think it should have been a draw because I thought he lost 2 rounds, but he did gain 2 points back because 2 points were taken from Zhao Long. But, I mean, Cody Garbrandt hasn't looked good in a long time. He looked kind of solid against Figueredo, looked good on the feet, but then just got taken down and submitted. Looked good against Brian Kelleher, but Brian Kelleher sucks. Looked decent, kind of, against Trevin Jones, UFC 285. Looked pretty subpar against Raoni Barcelos. I feel like I'm missing one fight in there, but I could be wrong. I think that's it. Because 285 was Trevin Jones, then Brian Kelleher, 296. Then he was supposed to fight Miles Johns, and he pulled out. So then he fought Barcelos and lost. And then he fought Zhao Long and kind of won, somehow. Yeah, he just really has not looked the same ever since 2016. I know that was 8 years ago, but even after that, you know, he got knocked out twice by Dillashaw. He went down to flyweight, got knocked out by Kai Kara-France, got knocked out by Pedro Munoz. Like, this guy has just lost to everybody. Yeah, he did have a nice little win against, what's his name, Rafael Assunção, but he's just never looked prime like he did on December 30th of 2016. Justin Gaethje is next. Justin Gaethje is not washed. The thing about him is that I don't even ever think he was this crazy elite fighter. I think he stayed relatively same when it comes to his skill level, but that skill level was never that amazing, you know what I mean? Like, he was always decent, you know, he's a big slugger, he's going to come at you, he's going to go and throw grunting overhands and duck his head and somehow avoid being kicked in the head because nobody decides to kick him in the head when his head is right there whenever he dips it down. But Justin Gaethje, like I said, he's not washed. He's definitely not as good as he was 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. So that's why he is on this list, but he's not even that washed. He looked pretty good against Paddy Pimblett. But good is I kind of use that as a stretch when I say that he looked good against Paddy Pimblett, because it's pretty easy to look good against Paddy Pimblett on the feet when he is as bad on the feet as he is. So I think we're going to put him at C tier for now. Beneil Dariush, hot take, he's only going B tier. He's not even washed. He just has a horrible chin. I mean, Benoit Saint-Denis knocked him out. Arman Tsarukyan knocked him out. Oh my gosh, he got knocked out again. Charles Oliveira knocked him out. Is there another one that I'm missing? No, because he got knocked out one time many years ago. And then, okay, so yeah, he has 5 KO losses on his record. 3 are in a very recent time period. Like UFC 289, he got knocked out against Charles. Then he got knocked out on UFC Austin, which was against Arman Tsarukyan. That was in December of 2024, I want to say. And then he got knocked out. He actually won a fight against Moicano in a pretty shitty fight, but he won a fight against Moicano. UFC 317, I believe it was. Then he got knocked out UFC 324, I believe. No, 324. Or maybe it was. No. I don't know. He got knocked out by Benoit. That was UFC Paris, I'm sorry. And now he's going to fight Quillen Salkild. He's going to get knocked out again. Yes, his chin is bad, but also he's facing very good fighters, so that's why I'm not putting him in S tier. And also, it's not like, oh, when you watch Beneil Dariush fight, he sucks now. He looks so much different than he used to. No, he's just getting knocked out. The guy's chin sucks. It's simple as that. Next is Israel Adesanya. Controversial take, he's going C tier. Israel Adesanya has looked good in every single one of his fights. Straight up. Except against Sean Strickland, but that was more so he just got schooled. But against Dricus du Plessis, the very next fight, looked very good. I arguably had it 2-1 going into round 4. I thought he won 2 rounds. I want to say it was 1-3. I could be misremembering, though. I haven't watched that fight in kind of a while. So, I mean, even against Joe Pyfer, he looked good. He was beating up the legs. He was landing some counters. He was getting hit too much, though. So he started to regress defensively. Normally, whenever guys get washed, they start to get hit a lot. And then after that happens, then they start to look real slow, and they're not countering like they used to. And they just don't look like how they used to. Israel Adesanya does look like how he used to. He's just getting hit much more, and he's getting out-grappled by Dricus du Plessis, by Joe Pyfer. So he's not bad. Like, he's not bad at all. I think Israel Adesanya still beats a guy like Caio Borralho. I think he beats a guy like Reinier de Ridder. Maybe. No, he probably gets out-grappled. But I think he beats a lot of guys in that top 15. I don't think he's just, Izzy's done for. He's never the same. He should. I do think he should retire, for sure. But I don't think he's this washed figure that is like a Tony Ferguson and he's just losing and losing. I don't think it's like that. I think he's still really competitive with these guys. Renato Moicano. We'll go... I mean, he's so inactive, so it's kind of hard to say. He's been very inactive in the past 2 years. So we're going to go C tier. I mean, yeah, he did look fucking horrible in his fight against Beneil Dariush. Like, it was actually really concerning how piss-poor he looked. And, of course, he got dominated in 1 round against Islam Makhachev, but I don't hold that against you because probably every single lightweight in the division would get dominated in a round by Islam Makhachev at the time, so I can't really kill him for that. But he's 35 now. He's looking much slower. He's looking way worse on the feet. His offense has started to look very basic and easy to counter. So once you start being super predictable, that's kind of when you start to become washed. That's like a telltale sign that you're becoming a significant fighter, when you start to become really predictable. Leon Edwards. I mean, I guess I'll go B tier. He's not S tier. He's not A tier like people are saying. I mean, he's fought some amazing competition. He got utterly dominated by Sean Brady, the #1 contender at the time. A very good welterweight. People just hate on him for whatever reason. Not really sure why. He did get beat pretty badly against Bilal Muhammad, but he did have some success in that round. Like, he had good success at the end of round 5. I believe it was round 3 that he basically had Bilal Muhammad in a body triangle for the entire round. I think it was round 3. May have been 2. But then he goes and fights Carlos Prates and just gets knocked out cold. I also know those were not in chronological order the way that I described them. But he got knocked out cold against Carlos Prates, a guy who is very good himself. So he's not just getting massive step downs in competition and losing. He's facing the best of the best and just getting outdone. So that's why he's not A tier. That's why he's not S tier. I'm honestly not even so sure that he's in B tier. Like, I may put him in C tier because I still think he beats a ton of good guys. Like, I think there's a lot of guys. Like, oh, he fucking destroys a Daniel Rodriguez. I think he beats a Uros Medic. I think he beats a Colby Covington again. I know he's still in the rankings and he already beat him, but still, like, I'm just going by the rankings, like 13, 14, 15. I think he beats a lot of those guys. You know what I mean? Gilbert Burns, A tier, 100%. Now, the same argument that I just made for Leon Edwards, I could also make for Gilbert Burns, but also Gilbert Burns just hasn't even looked good in a lot of fights. Like, yes, he is losing to Michael Morales, and he's losing to Sean Brady, but then when you go the Bilal Muhammad fight, a fight where you may not even consider him being super washed, he just looked bad. And yeah, you can make the argument he was overtrained. Oh my gosh, he took this fight, he fought Masvidal right before, and then he went and fought, what's his name? Then he fought Bilal, UFC 288. I get it, dude, but still, he 29-28'd Jorge Masvidal, the last UFC fight of Jorge Masvidal. Then he goes and fights Gilbert Burns, looks horrible. Then he fight. Who was the next after that? I believe it was what's his name? It was Jack Della Maddalena. Looks pretty solid in that fight. Loses that. Then he loses to, I just said his name and I can't think of it. Oh my goodness. Sean Brady got destroyed by Sean Brady. He got utterly destroyed against Michael Morales, and I think he's going to lose to Mike Malott as well. So if that happens, then he's going to move up to S tier, but he's pretty old at this stage of his career. He's 37 years old. He's taken a lot of damage. He's been knocked out quite a few times. Kamaru Usman's knocked him out. Michael Morales has knocked him out. Jack Della Maddalena has knocked him out. He's had a war with Khamzat Chimaev. I just believe that he's at the end of his career. He's a very small welterweight. He's not really dangerous in any factor. He's not really doing much to you when he gets you to the ground, if he can get you to the ground. He's not working you on the feet, so I think he's near the end for sure. Colby Covington, also A tier, was basically rendered useless in the Joaquin Buckley fight. He did kind of start to get takedowns of his own, but not really do anything with them. He was getting outboxed so badly against Joaquin Buckley. He looked horrible against Leon Edwards. He's extremely inactive. And now he's turning on the UFC, which I never would have thought because he has always been one of the biggest brown nosers for Dana White and the UFC. Now he's turning against them and playing victim like he does. I have no sympathy for him. I never will. Next is Jared Cannonier. Bottom of C tier. Looked very good against RoboCop. Got his ass beat, but then came back and got a beautiful finish against him. I mean, yeah, he got outpointed by MVP, who just does nothing but dance around and throw 4 jabs around and land 23 strikes in a 3-round fight. But he did look pretty bad against Caio Borralho. He did take quite a bad beating, but he did survive into a decision somehow, some way at this age. He had a close fight with Nasruddin Imavov. I had that fight going to be 2-2 going into round 5, but there was the horrible stoppage in round 4. And then I believe the fight right before that, he just destroyed Marvin Vettori in the apex and landed 270 significant strikes on him. So, like, you've never watched Jared Cannonier and just thought, oh my gosh, this guy is a shell of his former self. He just looks so much worse. Like, he stole a round off of Caio Borralho and was looking decent and pretty competitive against Borralho until he got clipped with a big shot in round 5. Yeah, in round 5. And Imavov, again, was looking very good. I think he won 2 rounds, but he just eventually got clipped, and then Jason Herzog stopped the fight in an atrocious, abysmal, horrid stoppage. And again, he was getting beat against Gregory Rodriguez, but came back and knocked him out. Look how good that win is aging. You know, Rodriguez just knocked out Jack Hermanson, then he knocked out RoboCop. Not RoboCop, what's his name? Fucking Bruno Ferreira. Like, that win is aging better and better. So I don't think, you know, it's so impressive because especially at this age, at 42, I don't think he's just this shell of himself. He still looks really good and really skilled. Tremendous physique. He's in great shape, super strong. He's got a great jab. He's still got power when he does land the power shots. He's still good, man, I'm telling you. Nikita Krylov. We're going to go C tier. He did just, we're going to go B tier. He did just get a win. Nah, should I go back to C? No, we'll stay B. He did just get a win against Modestas Bukauskas, but just looked really fucking average in that fight. Didn't look impressive at all. Of course, he got knocked out by Bogdan Guskov, and he got knocked out by Dominic Reyes. He took a super long time off because he had injuries and he had other things that he was dealing with personally, with, his country. I'm not going to get into it. But I think that injury and the time off really did hurt him bad because when he came back against Dominic Reyes, got knocked down the first round, got knocked down the first round against Bogdan Guskov, and just hasn't looked the same. I figured that he was going to run through Modestas Bukauskas and knock him out really easily, but Modestas Bukauskas had a lot of success in that fight. Probably too much success for my liking. Way too much success for me to consider Nikita Krylov a top 5 to 10 guy at light heavyweight. But still did get a good win, so good for him, but I think he is most definitely a shell of his former self. Alexander Rakic. We're going to go B tier. I'm very excited that he moved up to heavyweight. I'm very eager to see how he looks in his new division, but he was just getting kind of embarrassed at light heavyweight. He's losing to Yuri, he's losing to Magomed Ankalaev, both very good competition, by the way. But then he lost to Azamat Murzakanov, so you could make the argument that he's only losing to very good guys, but he's just doing nothing in any of these fights. Like, yeah, the Yuri fight, he had some success in the feet because Yuri does not block his head at all, and he kind of just leaves his chin right there for you. But against Magomed Ankalaev, he just did nothing at all for 3 rounds besides jab and throw some leg kicks here and there. Really, I'm going to put him down to C tier. We're going to put him in C. But then when he fought Azamat Murzakanov, he kind of just got clipped and destroyed. So, I kind of agree that his time is up at light heavyweight. I am extremely excited to see where he goes at heavyweight because undeniably, this guy will be a top 5 guy. I mean, like, Tyrell Fortune is a top 10 heavyweight right now. You know what I mean? Like, there are so many fighters in heavyweight that I think Rakic would fucking destroy. He's enormous at light heavyweight. He probably weighs about 240 outside of camp. So now, without him cutting weight, he'll probably get to maybe 247, 248, his natural max. But I think he'll do really well at heavyweight. So I'm going to put him down to C instead of B tier. Next is Tai Tuivasa. I've made so many rants about Tai Tuivasa. I don't really want to get into it now because my blood pressure is just going to raise and I'm going to get angry again. I'm trying to have a good off day right now. So we're going to put him at S tier and I'm not even going to get into it. Josh Emmett. Josh Emmett is not that washed. And I know what you're thinking. Dude, he's losing to this guy. He's losing to this guy. He's getting knocked out by Vallejos. He's losing to Murphy. He's getting subbed by Yusuf Zalal. But the thing is, though, you can't really prove to me that the Josh Emmett that we saw last month is any much worse than the Josh Emmett that fought Bryce Mitchell on UFC 296. What is different about their games? They do the exact same thing. He hunts around and just kind of stalks you down and looks for an overhand and misses, and then will kind of throw a jab and, land the jab, then throw another overhand and miss, shoot a takedown, not get it. That's kind of all he does in his fights. So, and that's what he's done for the past few years. You can't prove to me that Josh Emmett is just this washed guy and, oh my gosh, he was so much better 3 years ago when he was getting subbed by, you know what I mean? There's nothing that's different about Josh Emmett. He just has the same style and he never improves and never makes any adjustments, which makes a fighter watching film do very well because you don't change at all in your fights. Derek Lewis. Honestly, kind of the same exact argument that I just made for Josh Emmett. He's the same guy in every single one of his fights. His offense is so easy to game plan for. All you need to do is just avoid the big shot, which is very easy because both of these guys telegraph the fuck out of these shots. So I kind of want to put him higher, but I really can't because, like I said, the same argument that I just made for Josh Emmett, I have to make for Derek Lewis. Marcin Tybura. Yeah, dude. He was never this crazy elite heavyweight, but watching him dominate Jonata Deniz on UFC 295, UFC 309. I mean, dude, I was really fucking impressed, and I thought this guy could be in the top 6 and maybe have like a slightly competitive fight with somebody up there, slightly competitive with a guy like Volkov or something, but yeah, he's just looked so bad. Like, Ante D'Elia embarrassed him. Tyrell Fortune didn't even really embarrass him. He just slightly outpointed him when Marcin Tybura did fucking nothing. But he's just losing to all of these guys, and it's pretty embarrassing at this point, so I'm going to put Marcin Tybura up there. Jan Blachowicz, yeah, dude, he is washed. Yes, he's being competitive with a lot of good fighters like Carlos Ulberg and Bogdan Guskov, but he's still significantly regressed. Like, you can for sure notice a big difference when he fights. You know, you can look at his fights when he fought Magomed Ankalaev. He looks way better in that fight than he did against Bogdan Guskov and against Carlos Ulberg. It's a significant difference, but he is still that good. He's 42 years old, but he's still that good and gritty and competitive and experienced and crafty. So he's going to stick around in the top 6 to 14 spot in the light heavyweight division. But I think now Bogdan Guskov is going to get a pretty definitive win against him. And like, this is such a pointless rematch, so I don't really like this, but I think Bogdan Guskov is going to get a very easy win in the rematch, and we're going to notice that, okay, yeah, Blachowicz probably should hang it up now. He's much worse than he was a couple years ago. Rob Font. Rob Font is B tier. I mean, well, no, actually, I'll keep him B tier because he did just get dominated by Raul Rosas Jr., who I know is a very good grappler, but Raul Rosas Jr. has probably the worst takedown defense I've ever seen. I know it's never been good, but Raul Rosas Jr. is a guy who you should be able to shuck off. You have fought every single type of style, every single good fighter at 35 you fought, and you've done fairly well in some of these fights, but you're just getting taken down at will. You can't even establish your own game plan. So I'm going to put him in B tier because he's just looked shittier and shittier in all these fights. Marvin Vettori. Like, high B tier. Kind of sad because he's one of the only Italians that we have representing in the UFC. I guess we have Manolo Zucchini, who actually fights on Saturday, which I completely forgot about. I haven't seen this guy fight since he fought Morgan Charrier on, I think it was UFC Jacksonville? That was June of 23. I think it was UFC Jacksonville, or maybe it was the Paris card. I'm sorry, not the Paris card. Maybe it was the England card, it may have been. But yeah, Marvin Vettori is just not good. I mean, he never was amazing. We all know this. They always called him Mediocre Marvin for a reason. He was always just this pretty mediocre fighter who had some good jiu-jitsu but couldn't really get you down. But all he does is just jab and throw high kicks and throw body kicks and throw leg kicks and do the same thing and look for a one. Like, it's literally the offense that you would develop after 6 weeks of training for the first ever time. If you just moved to a new city and you've never competed in combat sports at all, and you're like, you know what, I want to make some friends, I want to defend myself, I'm going to enlist in this cardio kickboxing gym on 9th Street. You go there, you train there for 6 weeks, you know, they got the fucking punching bag, and it's got the numbers, it's got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, you know, and then there's the guy in the corner with a whistle, and he's shouting, 2, 3, boom, you throw 2, 3. You know what I mean? Like, that's what Marvin Vettori is. That's exactly what his offense is. You know, he's never been great, but he somehow is just getting worse. You know, in the Brendan Allen fight, in the Bruno Ferreira fight, in all of these fights, he just looks so shitty. And, like, I love the guy because he's funny, he's Italian, but still, man, like, he's making the middleweight division look bad every single time he competes. But that is my tier list. I will leave a link to this in the description if you'd like to play around with it, make a video, or do whatever you do. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok at VinceMMA1. Also, follow me on Instagram and TikTok at VinceMedia1 if you're interested in The Sopranos and film and TV. I started a new account and, you know, it's doing pretty well. So like I said, if you like film and TV, especially The Sopranos, check out VinceMedia1 on Instagram and TikTok. Go to 3punchconvo.com. Use my code of VinceMMA for a first free month. And thank you very much for watching.